than living the mother of devotion for propagating the message of Gita? Can anything be more hard to leave the associates like Srivas, who was ready to, in order to give pleasure to Lord Chaitanya, he was ready to keep quiet when his own young son was dead? Can there be any more hardship to leave Vishnupriya Devi, who was so chaste, who only took 1 grain of rice per Hare Krishna mantra throughout the 80 years after Lord Chaitanya left her? So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the representative, as the teacher of Bhagavad Gita, as Srila Prabhupada is telling that it's not essential just to read Bhagavad Gita, relish the message and relish bhakti alone. We need to be ready to take up any hardship, any amount of pain in our heart, just to propagate the message of Gita appropriately to the fallen conditioned souls of the world. And who was the first person Lord Chaitanya delivered in his sannyas leela? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he took the sannyas and he wanted to go to Vrindavan, and he was tricked by Nityanand Prabhu, and he started going to Jagannath Puri. And when he reached Jagannath Puri, he was running towards Jagannath and he fell down. And at that moment, there was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. When he saw Lord Chaitanya, he thought, my goodness, he's 7 foot tall. His hands are elongated to his knees. He had such beautiful lotus-like eyes. He was so golden in complexion. And he has shaven head. He was just 24 years old. He has all the qualities to attract the most beautiful lady in this world. And he has taken sannyas. How he's going to maintain his sannyas? That was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya thinking. I must teach him Vedanta Sutra. He has all the symptoms of a great personality. And if he is taught Vedanta Sutra, his sannyas will become completely fixed up. And like that, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya thought, and he took Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Lord Chaitanya fainted. And he took to his home, and all the devotees who were going behind, they started running and they inquired, where is this sannyasi? Where is the sannyasi? All the pandas and pujaris of Jagannath temple, they said, oh, that sannyasi who was crying and saliva was coming from his mouth and he fainted here. I think he has some disease. And all the pujaris, they said, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he has taken him to his house. And all Nityanand Prabhu, everyone, they came and they found Gopinath Acharya. The same Gopinath Acharya in whose house Iswarapuri stayed. Gopinath Acharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's father was Maheshwar Visharad. Both Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Madhusudan Vachaspati, both were brothers. And he had one daughter also. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had a sister, and sister was married to Gopinath Acharya. So Gopinath Acharya became brother-in-law. And those who are married, I am not married, but my brother-in-law wanted to have that relationship, but I never allowed that. But there is a sweet relationship between brother-in-laws. Sala, we call it. So, Gopinath Acharya, he reached the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and all the devotees reached. And then they started loudly chanting. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya saw how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up just by hearing the chanting of the holy names, and he got up and said, "Where am I?" And then he understood that he fainted in Jagannath temple, and he begged forgiveness from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that I actually was not knowing what I was doing. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, I am so blessed that you have come to my house. And he said to Gopinath Acharya, I think this sannyasi can stay in my maternal uncle's house. And then he made arrangements because he was the guru and he was in charge of Jagannath temple. He had made all arrangements. He arranged for prasadam for the devotees, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to take bath. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went away, Sarvabhauma said to Gopinath Acharya, who is this personality? Gopinath Acharya says, he is Nimai Pandit. He is the son of Jagannath Mishra. Oh, Jagannath Mishra. His father Nilambar Chakravarti and my father were good friends. Oh, I never knew he is from Navadvip. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya developed an affection for him. But he seems to be a sentimental person, he said. And then he said, from where he has taken sannyas. And then Gopinath Acharya said, 𝐂𝐻𝐈𝐍, the most illustrious person, has given him sannyas. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, that is a second-class sannyasi. If you want, and if you can discuss with him, because you know him, I can reinitiate him on a higher order of sannyas. And Gopinath Acharya was so frustrated. Like a brother-in-law. He said, you are in complete Maya. Sarvabhauma was shocked. Don't you know that he is the supreme personality of Godhead? And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, because Gopinath Acharya was speaking in a very jovial tone and jokingly in trying to make accusations to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya as a brother-in-law, the disciples of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, they were very frustrated. They wanted to defend their guru. They said, where in the scripture it is mentioned that Krishna will appear in Kali Yuga? Krishna is Tri-Yugi. And who says that he is the supreme personality of God? And Gopinath Acharya started quoting all different scriptures, Krishna Varnam Tisa Krishnam, and from the verse of Prahlad Maharaj in Bhagavatam, from the verse from Mahabharata, from different verses he spoke, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was simply laughing and smiling. Brother-in-law doesn't know anything. And Gopinath Acharya said, there is no need to quote any slokas in front of you, because you have not received a trace of the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can never understand the Tattva of Krishna. And like that, Gopinath Acharya, he said to Sarvabhauma, and Sarvabhauma said, why are you becoming angry on me? I'm just trying to discuss as a friend. And Gopinath Acharya said, only if you are blessed by the mercy of Chaitanya, you will be able to understand who is he. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, yes, I will understand. And the next day in the morning, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya found Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking darshan of Jagannath. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took the hand of Lord Chaitanya and said, I want to teach you Vedanta. I'm so concerned about you. And the Lord said, you are my father. You are a friend of my father. I am so grateful that I am at your shelter in Jagannath Puri. Please teach me Vedanta. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he was sitting on the ground and Lord Chaitanya was sitting on this little bit of elevated asana because he is sannyasi. And from the ground, you will see the picture, you'll see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the picture is there. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is speaking like this to Lord Chaitanya. And he was speaking and speaking and speaking. And for 7 days, Lord Chaitanya heard the class silently. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, at the end of 7 days, he said, are you able to understand what I am speaking? Lord Chaitanya said, I am not able to understand anything what you are speaking. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya understood he is really, really a very difficult student. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, for last 7 days I am speaking. If you didn't understand anything, why at the end of the first day you didn't ask any question? Why did you allow me to speak all the 7 days if you didn't understand anything? Then Lord Chaitanya said, I understand Vedanta Sutra, but I am not able to understand the explanations that you are giving of the Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra is radiant like sun, and your explanations are like the clouds that are covering my vision to it. Just imagine this Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Just to explain you who was he in Navadvip, because both were there in Navadvip, but when Prataprudra and all the Puri Raja, the king, he heard about Sarvabhauma's fame, he called Sarvabhauma to become in charge of Jagannath Puri. And what was the fame of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya? Navadvip was in the top university in the world. And there was great competition between Navadvip and Mithila. And there was one thing that Mithila had an upper edge, that is Nyaya. And there was one person who was so expert and who was so intelligent, he used to make all students attend his class but not allow any recording, any notes. And he would speak and explain everything, but no notes. And that's how the Nyaya Sastra of Mithila could not get propagated, and Navadvip was in second position. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya decided to uplift the position of Navadvip. He went to Mithila. He became the student of that teacher. And he memorized the entire Nyaya Sastra. Verbatim. Not paraphrase, not summarize. Verbatim. Exactly, verse by verse. And he came back to Navadvip and wrote down. It's not that he used to write down there. He memorized it verbatim, came back to Navadvip and wrote it back, and Navadvip became the topmost position of learning in the entire world. That was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And this Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is giving explanation of Vedanta Sutra. And Lord Chaitanya is humbly telling, I am understanding Vedanta. I am not understanding you. Just imagine his ego. And then Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave an example, which was also very, very graphic. He said, by reading scriptures, you will not understand scriptures. You will find a lot of contradiction in the scriptures. He said, scriptures say that if you touch a bone, you will have to take bath. But the conch shell that we use in the altar room is bone. Do we take bath after touching the conch shell? And Sarvabhauma had no answer. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went on explaining about Brahman, went on explaining the definition of Brahman, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was giving all of his explanations, and Lord Chaitanya was giving his explanations, and finally the culmination. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally said, this Sankara's commentary on Vedanta Sutra is simply a false commentary to delude foolish people. Just imagine. That means Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is foolish, because he was quoting from Sankaracharya. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, under what authority you are saying that Sankaracharya is fool number one? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sankaracharya is not fool number one. He is incarnation of Lord Shiva. He is incarnated to make all of you fool number one. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted the sloka from Padma Puran, Maya Badam Asat Sastram. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya heard that sloka, it was like clean bowled in front of Lord Chaitanya. Finally, he surrendered to Lord Chaitanya. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Ki all of you, the goal of your jnana is to become an Atma Ram. But all the Atma Ramas are attracted to the beauty, the sweetness of Hari. Itham bhuta guno Hari. And he quoted the verse from Bhagavatam. And then he asked, what is your explanation of this Atma Ram verse from Bhagavatam? And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he explained the Atma Ram verse in 9 different meanings. And then he asked, what is your explanation? And Lord Chaitanya explained the Atma Ram verse of Bhagavatam in 18 different meanings, double. That made Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya put Dandavat to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was telling her. And then when he got up, Lord Chaitanya was so pleased by his surrender. Immediately, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him the darshan of 4-handed form of Vishnu. And said, you are now delivered from the clutches, illusory clutches of the Mayavad philosophy. And from that day on, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a completely different person. Gopinath Acharya, his brother-in-law, started clapping and dancing. I said. I predicted. My prediction has come true. Because you have got the tress of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, now you are jumping and dancing in ecstasy of Krishna's holy name. And you have understood the essence of scriptures. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, next day, he went to Jagannath temple in the morning. And when he went to the Jagannath temple, he got a lot of prasadam, he got a garland, and he went to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he did knock. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya got up and said, Krishna, Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so happy. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, when he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the first time, he said, Namo Narayana. I, I, I put my dandavat to Narayan. Because for Sankara's philosophy, anyone who takes sannyas becomes Narayan. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said to him, Krishner Matirastu. And now that his blessing of Krishner Matirastu has been fulfilled, Lord Chaitanya standing outside the door was feeling so happy that Sarvabhauma has been delivered, and he is jumping and chanting Krishna, Krishna. He opened the door and he made Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to sit down. He sat down and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him the prasadam. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya started taking the prasadam. And Lord said, don't you know, Sarvabhauma, you are an authority of scriptures. You know the scriptures verbatim. You have not taken bath. You have not brushed your teeth. You have not performed any purificatory rites. And you are taking prasadam of the Lord. And immediately Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he said, Ki, the scripture says, Prapti matrena bhuktebhya. As soon as you get Vishnu Prasad, you must immediately take it. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so pleased with his devotion. And he went away. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya called all his Mukunda and Damodar. And he sent a lot of prasadam for all the devotees. And he wrote 2 verses in palm leaf glorifying Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he gave those 2 verses to Damodar and Mukunda. To Damodar. And he said, please give these verses to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to read. And Damodar Pandit came to give those verses, but Mukunda, he took that palm leaf and he immediately wrote it back in the wall. And then he said, now you can give to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And these are the 2 verses that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya wrote about Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which we just today read. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu read the verses, he immediately tore it off and threw it. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, but because Mukunda Datta, he wrote those verses on the walls, all the devotees imprinted these 2 verses as the most wonderful verses glorifying Lord Chaitanya within their hearts. So this is how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through his example and pastime, established the essence of Bhagavad Gita. If we want to know Bhagavad Gita, we cannot know it by learning Sanskrit ourselves. We need to approach a guru. And that guru has to be in the parampara of devotion. And if, and only if, when we get the mercy of Krishna, only then that devotion which is being taught by the Guru will awaken in our heart. And we will experience the sweetness of devotion. And when we experience that sweetness of devotion, we should be ready to take any hardship to propagate that sweetness, to share the sweetness with everyone, just as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. If Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not have been there, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya would have passed his life thinking himself as a great scholar, thinking himself as a great knower of Vedas. And exactly in the same way, if Srila Prabhupada would not have come, what an ego as an IITian and a big engineer. Even Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya would put Dandavat. I was not that egoistic. At least Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had that culture that he paid obeisances to a sannyasi. At least he had that culture. He paid obeisances to Jagannath. The current Pandits of Kali Yuga, হয়ে গেছে। They will do everything to keep the sadhus away from their home. And if the sadhus come, Swamiji, please bless my son so that he can become an IIT engineer and follow in my footsteps and become a donkey number 1. These are Pandits of Kali Yuga. And how much Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya would be thinking about Srila Prabhupada. I was a Pandit, but at least I had some respect to sannyasis. I had some respect to Lord. I had some respect to Jagannath. These Pandits of Kali Yuga, they are grossly atheistic, grossly foolish. Bhagavatam, Sukadev Goswami says to Parikshit, Kalau na Rajan. He says that, O Rajan, in Kali Yuga, Jagatam Jagat Guru, Krishna is Jagatam Jagat Guru. But in Kali Yuga, such foolish will come that even Jagatam Jagat Guru Krishna, they will not even bend their heads in front of him. So we must understand Srila Prabhupada and his glory. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini. Gaura came to establish Bhagavad Gita Bani, Krishna Bani. And Srila Prabhupada established Gauravani. To the most fallen people, even more fallen than, who had even no culture. At least Sarvabhauma had a culture. Srila Prabhupada delivered all of us who were so proud of materialistic knowledge. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya at least was proud of his spiritual knowledge, whatever spirituality it was. At least he was proud of the knowledge of the scriptures. We are proud of making nuclear bombs, atom bombs. What good we are doing by making them? Srila Prabhupada said, what we have done through science and technology, we have only accelerated people to hell and death in a more faster way. Even those proud people of Kali Yuga got delivered by mercy of Srila Prabhupada because he presented Gauravani in the most pure and authentic way. So as Srila Prabhupada is telling here, we must thank Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for giving us the greatest gift of Srila Prabhupada. If Srila Prabhupada would not have been here, we would not come and attend Gaur Purnima. We would be splashing color water to our friends, tearing off the banyans, which I saw in IIT. I was there in the room and they were banging my door to drag me to the water. And I was praying to the bolt, please don't go down. I'll be exploited. And in the evening, that was my first Holi in IIT. In the evening when I went out, I saw banyans, underwears, pants, torn apart, colored stinking, all the walls colored, banyans hanging on the fan and silly. I could visualize what would be happening in Holi. All of you are smiling, dressed as Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis so nicely, gentle. Some colors are there, but civilized way. Why we are smiling and laughing such like Vishnu Dutas in front of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and celebrating Gaur Purnima and not holy in the most unholy way like the outside people? This is all because of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Prabhupada is our gift that Lord Chaitanya has given us, who is establishing Gauravani and making the most unholy people of Kali Yuga holy and come in the front of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and dance in Harinam. Shri Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Brind ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. I really went over time. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So I'll just read the instruction. Mahaprabhu broke open the treasure house of love of God. Golakir Prem Dhan Harinam Sankirtan. The locks of the treasure box is broken. Inside is the treasure of holy name. But it is Srila Prabhupada who made us realize that that is holy name is the treasure and not going to America and not earning dollars. So that was Srila Prabhupada. That is not written. That is my addition. Srila Prabhupada ki.